Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at this 2023 Ford Maverick Lariat. Huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this brand new truck for me today. Check out their website. They have a massive selection of pretty much brand new inventory. That link is down in the description. So this Maverick is finished off in hot pepper red metallic, and it has an MSRP just under $33,000. Now we'll start off today's review with what powers this Maverick, because there are two different engine options available. This model has the 2-liter EcoBoost inline 4-cylinder engine that's paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 250 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque. That power sent through the all-wheel drive system, propelling this 3,700 pound pickup truck from 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds. Now, as far as fuel economy goes, you're looking right around 22 miles per gallon in the city and 29 out on the highway, and that's running off a 16.5 gallon fuel tank. This also has a wheelbase of 121.1 inches. Its overall length is 199.7. It has a width of 72.6, a height of 68.7, and its ground clearance measures in at 8.6 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling for the new Maverick, this has been out for a few years now, and I think it is one of the best smaller size trucks that are currently available in today's market. So we're going to start off with the front end design here, where you can see the Ford logo front and center, but surrounding that you can see the trim accents that go into the headlight housings surrounding the turn signals, and then we have the rest of the headlights and high beams around that. Now there are plenty of cutouts in this grille to provide a lot of cooling to that EcoBoost engine, as well as the active grille shutters that are located down below. Currently they are open, but those will open and close depending on the airflow needed. And then the entire lower section of this bumper is finished off in plastic. And then for the hood, some nice lines coming down it, as you would see on other Ford models. But I think it has a nice mini proportional design to it, being the smallest pickup truck offered from Ford. It looks like a full size, but it has the smaller proportions for it. Now for this model, this has a set of 18-inch wheels with the two-tone design, multi-spoke pattern. You can see the Lariat trim badge just behind that, as well as the body-colored side mirrors. No sunroof for this model. And then you can see the crisp lines for the fender flares, both in the front and the rear. Some more plastic trim for that lower side skirt, and then black trim surrounding the windows. Now this is a unibody, so we have that construction for this. It is not body on frame like every other Ford pickup truck, but it has a good look to it nonetheless. Making our way to the rear, where it has the backup camera, Maverick is stamped in the tailgate like every other pickup truck today. We have the all-wheel drive system, LED taillights. The rear bumper is finished off in plastic, and then when you have the proper towing package, this can tow up to around 4,000 pounds with a payload capacity of 1,500. So if you're not looking to tow a lot of heavy items, but you need the utility of a pickup truck, you need that open bed, this can still get the job done for those smaller projects. Now as we work our way to the 4.5-foot bed, so it is a little bit smaller than even a mid-size truck. Ford claims that you can fit 18 4x8 sheets of plywood in here before you have to make another trip. So that is impressive. Like I said, it could be a good around the house type of vehicle if you're doing a lot of home projects and you need to get items like that. You still have those capabilities. Now there's no spray and bed liner for this option, which I'm sure you could get. And then we do have the bins located on both sides. You can even scan that QR code there, and it gives you some other accessories and ideas that you can use. If you're a new truck owner, it's definitely helpful to be able to get some tips and pointers for some ideas. There's even some tie-down hooks as well, so you can safely secure items, and a very light tailgate, which is easy to close. It's a pretty deep bed too, so that's how you can fit 18 of those sheets of plywood. It's small, but it's very, very usable. Now as we work our way to the back seats, you will see the door panel has a nice design to it with the blue and the gray. There's even some of this brushed gold accents for that grab handle, which interestingly enough has a floating design to it, because that allows you to fit taller water bottles just behind that. So you have a little bit of space there too, but you can place a drink here, and if it's taller than this, that grab handle is out of the way. Pretty smart innovation there. There's a release handle, the window control as well. So it has a nice design to it. And then for the interior, we have the two-tone with the brown. Interesting combo with the exterior orange red depending on the lighting. And we even have additional storage. So I can pull on this tab to lock this seat up, and you can see the amount of storage on both bins there, where you could place some tools or any other equipment that you may have. So it's nice for the size that you have that. And at 5'10", hopping into the back, you actually jump down or step down over the door sill. So unlike a larger pickup truck where you jump into it, you actually step down like you're in a smaller size SUV. Now there's storage pockets, there's also some auxiliaries right in the middle, and that's pretty much all you get. The one benefit I will say for the back seats is at 5'10", I have around 4 or 5 inches of headroom. So you could be taller than me and still fit in this smaller pickup truck. Very versatile for backseat passengers. You have more headspace than in my Toyota Tacoma, which is a larger truck, and probably even more headroom than the Ford Ranger, which is the bigger brother to this Maverick. So it's pretty open and spacious. Right in the middle, we have the armrest along with 2 cup holders, and then we have the sliding rear glass that is electronically controlled. So that button is located up front. You will see a speaker too in that C-pillar, which is an interesting design. And then as we take a look at the front door panel, it's finished off just like the rear. You'll notice too that on the outside, you actually have the keypad. So you can use this to lock and unlock. You can use the door handle or the key fob itself. And then we have the same design here. However, it has all of the window adjustments and side mirror adjustments as well. And then the Bose audio. The front seats are just like the rear. They are automatic, so all those adjustments are down on the side, and same with the rear. We step over and then back down, and then we have that floating grab handle, which I think is very cool to see. Now for the steering wheel, it's just solid black, so nothing fancy there. On this left side, you will see the cruise control settings along with volume. On the right side, we have Bluetooth and voice commands, and then all of these are for the gauge cluster. So let's fire this up, where you'll see that come to life. On the left side, there's the tach. Right side has the miles per hour. You can see what gear you are in the lower section, along with the fuel level. And then right in the middle, you can see the odometer along with your miles per hour. And then if we use those icons on that right side of the steering wheel, you can look at fuel economy, TPMS, even pull up the radio. If I push on menu, now we can go into the select screen. So this is basically what you just saw on that favorites tab. You can have these set up with what you would like to see to be able to get to very quickly. Now you can pull up your audio, look at the phone, and then go into settings as needed. This even has the trailer sway control, so when you're towing up to 4,000 pounds, you have that added stability. You can go into your driver assistance, and then if we go back, there's even the display setup. So you can monitor what you would like to see on this actual display here when everything is hidden away and disappeared there. So it doesn't give you a whole lot, but it gives you what you need for a daily basis. Now on this left side, you will see the cargo light, so that's above the bed. We have the headlight adjustments, dimmer switches for the gauges. You will see this interesting trim piece along with the bronze air vent right in the middle. And then above the infotainment system, there's a little bit of storage where you could place some items, as well as placing some items on this right side. It is just an open area, which is interesting to see. But as we look at the infotainment system now, you will see audio, there's phone, you can go into a few apps here, and then there's settings that you can go into and configure as needed. This is the smaller screen. I believe that Ford is coming out with a larger screen at some point. It may be available in the Tremor model that is coming soon, but that is pretty much all that you get. So you do have audio, you can pair your phone to this system, which is at least nice to see. There's volume and tuning for the radio on both sides. You can shut that screen off if you would like to. And then we also have play and pause tuning and another volume control. There are 2 air vents just underneath that. And then all the physical buttons for the climates. So the temperature is on that left side. You can see that adjust. We have temperature for the passenger as well, where you would like the air to go, fan speed, even the defrosters. And then underneath that, you will see a 12 volt, some auxiliaries. This is how you can open and close that rear glass. And then you have a few spots you could place your phone, depending on if you need it upright or you want it out of the way. There's a little bit more storage hidden just behind that. 2 cup holders are on the right side. And then to put this into reverse to pull up the backup camera, simply twist this clockwise once. You will see that appear. There's also a downward facing angle if you're backing up to a trailer. Drive is all the way to the right. There's a low range gear, and then park is all the way to the left. Now behind that, you will see the electronic e-brake We also have this button right here, which is the hold assist for the e-brake. There's the engine start stop feature. If I push on this icon here, that is for traction control. And then the last one is for the different driving modes. So by pushing on that, you will see that appear, where we have a few different modes, just depending on how you'd like to drive this truck for the day. And you will see the graphics change just depending on that mode. Now there's a little bit of storage next to that, as well as behind that. And looking at the center armrest, plenty of storage for any info that you need to place there, as well as over on the glove box where you can place additional items. And like I mentioned earlier, it is so open feeling. There's really no blind spots for this. It has a great shape to it where you can see all around. Up top, there's a sunglass holder, and then the dome lights are on both sides. As we set off now behind the wheel for the Maverick, this isn't the first one that I've been behind the wheel of, and hopefully I will be in the Maverick Tremor at some point to take that off-road and see what this smaller size pickup truck is capable of and the highest trim level. So the Lariat is basically one underneath that. This is the top of the 3 that are currently available. And for the low $30,000 range, they start right around 27, 28 if you get a base model. For 30 grand for a pickup truck, yes, it's not a towing kind of pickup truck. You can tow up to 4,000 pounds, which is still pretty healthy, but for this style of vehicle, it's really not all that bad. New vehicles today, the average price is around 48 grand, so you're well below that for not only a brand new vehicle, but for something that can be practical in the fact that you have the bed space for mountain bikes, wood, like I mentioned earlier, kind of odd shaped items that wouldn't fit in an enclosed vehicle. And you still have the practicality of this, not only having room for backseat passengers, but driving more like an SUV. It's not going to ride like a pickup truck does. Pickup trucks kind of have that known vibe for like riding harsh in a sense. Today's pickup trucks are a lot more luxury focused, but the Maverick drives almost like a Ford Escape. It shares the same platform as the Escape. So it's like that in a sense, but with the pickup on the back. Now we have the larger engine, so let's give it some gas. You know, nothing too crazy, about half throttle. It's not the quickest truck to get up and move, but it doesn't feel like it's underpowered either. So it definitely has some good horsepower numbers, especially for this weighing under 4,000 pounds. It is a lightweight, smaller size truck. So if you live in the city and you need a pickup, but you're worried about where to park it, and you know, this is just like an SUV, just a little bit longer. So it's really not, you're not really sacrificing much to get a pickup truck, and you could still drive this in the city. It has a small footprint, so you can even parallel park this. It's really not going to be an issue compared to midsize or full-size pickup trucks. And we are going to put it into sport mode now. So we just need to toggle through all the way back, and here we go. And it seems pretty peppy. Getting on it a little bit more than I just did, and especially in sport mode, it's going to allow those revs to hang out a little bit higher there than in normal mode. So if you need that added pep in your step for this Maverick, you have that along with the other options that I mentioned earlier. So it definitely has an adequate amount of power since it weighs less too. So it's well under the 300 that some of the other larger midsize trucks would have. But as far as driving this $30,000 pickup truck, it's very nice. Over the bridge there, over the bumps, it's what you would expect. Quiet, comfortable. To me, it's kind of more of an economy style pickup truck because it's not cheapened down. It is a lower price point than even the Ford Ranger, but it doesn't feel as cheap as the price would suggest, if that makes sense. We have some very nice materials and trim accents. I'm sure there's some plastic. It's on the dash here. Other more expensive vehicles would have that too. But for this 30 grand, it looks like it's a well put together vehicle, and there's nothing, in a sense, cheap about it. We have beautiful seats. We do have some plastic down below here, plastic molding for that storage there, but it's in a nice color, so that kind of makes up for it in a sense. The only thing I will say that I'm not a huge fan of is the size of the screen and what's available. I think Ford is now into their Sync 4 touchscreen system, if I'm not mistaken, and so I think that this vehicle should definitely have that and not this kind of wasted space there over to the right side of it. So maybe we'll see that in the next year model. Maybe we'll see that in the Tremor that is out. I haven't seen that model yet, so it could have that. But aside from that, it's a really nice vehicle to drive. I could see this being a daily driving type of pickup. If you don't need something large, you want something that's going to be a little bit more fuel economy, centered around getting a better fuel economy, and something that's still practical for backseat passengers. I think it's a good blend. If you don't want to off-road in your pickup truck, you don't need to tow horse trailers, something of that size, and you might just have some side-by-sides, four-wheelers, something like that, you know, lawn equipment, whatever you have that's a smaller size like that, or just using the bed space. I think it's a nice new option in the truck world. Maybe you're a first-time truck owner, you're not looking to get something big, you want something similar to the SUV you currently own, you just need that open bed space. Ford did a good job with, I think, this smaller size market. I think there was obviously enough demand to create this model, but I think that's going to wrap it up for the 2023 Ford Maverick Lariat. Once again, huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this truck for me today. Check out their website. Also give the video a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.